This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're going to be taking a look at Knockaround Premium sunglasses, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. Let's dive in. So kicking these things off with the materials, we've got pretty much an entirely plastic construction here. So pretty much everything on these glasses that we've been able to find are plastic. Even I believe the pins that attach the arms to the body here are made of plastic. I just basically looked in there to try and see if it looked like metal, and I also stuck a magnet to it to see if a magnet stuck to it, and it didn't. So I'm not, for sure that there's not like a little metal pin in there, but I believe that everything here is plastic. And that's not necessarily at a detriment to the glasses. Plastic is normally lighter than metal, and it just, not necessarily, it won't bend. Like obviously it breaks easier than metal, but plastic is not necessarily a bad thing, especially for a cheaper pair of sunglasses that you might wear into the water. But these frames here have UV 400 protection and also are polarized. So that means they're going to protect you from, I think it's like something like 95% of harmful rays from the sun. And then polarization is good, especially if you spend time by the water. It kind of cuts off that little bit of reflected light. So polarization cuts out certain wavelengths, basically, is what it does. So this is most notable when you're near water or on super bright sunny days. It kind of darkens the image you see a little bit, but you get more vibrant colors, and also you can see into the water. So I grew up fishing a lot and would always want polarized sunglasses because you can see into the water better, and you can kind of see fish and cast towards the fish and stuff like that. But they have a lot of practical uses for while you're traveling, whether you're going to a beach town or even just a town that's really bright and you can kind of see better and you get more vibrant colors. Or even if there's a canal running through the town, you can just all around see better, especially when there's water involved. But this colorway is the black smoke colorway, so it means that the frames are black and the frames here, yes, are black, and the lenses are smoke. So as you can see, you can kind of see through the frames there, like you can see my hand through, but it's definitely got a pretty thick tint to it, so you can still see your eyes, but it's not like completely, you can see through it still. It's not completely blocked. And there is a bit of reflection to it, as you can see, obviously those lights. I don't know if you can see the reflection of my hand there and my head a little bit. That looks a little goofy. So there is a little bit of reflection there, but it's not like they're mirrors. Sometimes that can just be a little odd when you're talking to someone in their sunglasses, like you can just see yourself talking. That always made me feel a little bit weird, almost like doing a video like this. But I do like the frame, or I always mess those up, frames and lenses. I do like the lenses because they're a little bit of the best of both worlds. They're really tinted, so you can hardly see through them, but you can also still see through them, and they're not completely reflective. So happy with the colorway here. The logos on the arms here, you have that little, this one on this side is a backwards K, and on this side you have the regular K, kind of just like a widened K. It's very minimal, and you really, as you move away there, you can't really see it from far away. On the inside, you've got the Knockaround there, and that's really some of the only branding. You've got the premiums on that side, and then that's all there is for branding as far as the frames and arms go. There is this little same K with a sun around it. I'm not sure, you can't really see that because of the light. There you go. There's a little logo there, and at first I thought that was a sticker. I thought I was going to be able to take it off, but you can't. I didn't want to really try to scratch it off because I didn't know what would happen, because obviously you're not supposed to take it off. And when you put the glasses on, you can see it just a little bit out of the corner of your eye, and this is especially true when you're out in the big open world. Like right now there's so much stuff going on, I can't notice it. But if I'm looking up at the sky or looking up at something where there's a lot of light and there's not much going on, you can see that. And that probably depends how your eyes are set, but I did have Ahmad and Lauren both try these on to see, and they both noticed it. It wasn't as noticeable for certain people. I actually had more than just them, but those are the two people that you would know who tried them on to see if they could see it. So depending on how your eyes are set and basically how your head is set up, you'll be able to see it more or less. And it didn't really bother me after 2 weeks of using them, but initially I was like, whoa, that's right there. So something to note, and at least me personally, I did get used to it towards the end. But something else I think is important to note, the hinges here, they don't have, I don't know exactly what it's called, but a lot of glasses have like a, I don't want to call it like a two-way hinge, or like it'll stretch a little bit. So like when it gets to the end, like if you have a bigger head, it'll stretch this way. But there isn't that. The hinge just goes to basically 90 degrees, what you see here, and doesn't go any further. If, it's made of plastic, so it does bend, like it goes out like that. Like I think that I have a bigger head, so I can feel it bend when I put them on. But that is something to note, like if you know that you have a bigger head and you have had issues with that in the past, they don't have that hinge that'll bend a little bit. It's just the plastic bends. And I did feel it bending when I was wearing them. The longest I wore these in a row, I went to a soccer match that was outside, and it was like a big deal. It was on TV and all that. So we went to the pregame, and we also did some stuff postgame. And I was wearing these the whole time because it was a really sunny day. I think probably, I want to say 5.5 or 6 hours straight of not taking them off. And I did start to feel a little bit, probably around the 3 or the 3.5 hour mark, where I could like feel them there. It wasn't like necessarily uncomfortable, but I could definitely feel it, and it was like, oh yes, I'm wearing sunglasses. And then when I took them off at the end, I was like, okay, that feels a little bit better. But the results that I got from the lenses were good enough to kind of negate don't want to say discomfort, but just the feeling of the arms on the side, like underneath my ear. So pretty comfortable, especially if you're not going to be wearing them, 6 hours straight. It's not super often that I wear sunglasses for that long. And as I said, I do have a bigger head, so if you have a smaller head, that might not be as much of an issue for you. Something else to note about these glasses is that I believe it is the polarization, but when you're in really harsh light and you look at a screen like a phone, you get this weird kind of like, I don't even really know what to call them. They're almost like Newton ringy looking like colorful light things. And your phone is still usable, but it is a little bit jarring the first time you use it, especially if you haven't worn polarized glasses before. This is something I've noticed in other polarized glasses, but I've really noticed it in these glasses, and maybe that's just because I was wearing them a ton in testing. But just like if you get these and you're like, whoa, what's that? Like it's supposed to be like that. I believe it's the polarization. And it is something I've noticed in other glasses, but it did seem to be more so with these glasses, and I'm not sure exactly what would cause that, or if it's just something I noticed because I was thoroughly testing them. But overall, very happy with how these glasses performed, especially when you consider that they're, some of the cheaper glasses on the market. I'd say they're arguably one of the cheaper name brand sunglasses that you can get. They have a ton of different sunglasses at under $30, and there are a few different versions of these. They have a kids version, they have a sport version, and then these are just the standard premium version. And with the premiums, almost all the premiums have that polarization, and they are, according to reviews online anyway, they hold up a bit better than the standard sunglasses. But these are great for if you're traveling and you're doing things that you don't know if your sunglasses are going to make it. Like if you're going jet skiing, or if you're, really outdoorsy and you're going on a hike where you're going to be scrambling and stuff like that. It's good to have a pair of sunglasses that if they don't make it or if they get banged up, you're not going to be that mad. Like if you were to take out a pair of, Rove sunglasses, or like you have a really expensive pair of Ray-Bans and they get, scratched up and, you're out there in the thick of it, you're going to be a little bit disappointed, and you don't want to be disappointed while you're on vacation. So having a pair of sunglasses that, only cost, I believe these retail at the moment for $28, it's money, but it's not the end of the world. So I think that's something that we normally don't talk about in reviews, but when it comes to these sunglasses, they're really great for what you pay for them, and it really adds that, I don't want to say lightheartedness to travel, but if you break them, you're not going to be super disappointed. And I'm sorry for ranting about price there for a minute, but I really wanted to include it because I thought it was important. So there you have it, Knockaround Premium Sunglasses. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.